She
fine.
was the legacy.
She was the
The
chosen
legacy.
legacy, and
Yeah.
so she was supposed to kind of take over, and she was going to become the queen of the night, whatever else. And everyone, at least I thought it was kind of strange that why does this guy have to move her next door when like we live in an age where he could have just talked to her, on
Yeah,
the
I mean,
internet.
she just lived in LA too. It wasn't like she was that far
Yeah,
away. Miller
but
makes that trip like every weekend.
see, okay, if I'm not mistaken, because I think this is kind of an integral part of the story, and that is, so she had to move next door, right? Because he was going to like literally mentor her and show her physically like how to run all this stuff, do this, do
Yeah,
that.
on the physical equipment that he
Yes,
had. So all
yes,
of his equipment in his, and he kept that in like a special trailer. Um,
yeah,
Instead of like a man cave or whatever, he had a radio trailer where
yeah.
he kept all of his super fancy equipment and stuff. I mean, it is very expensive. It is a
It
very
was, yeah,
professional setup, and
sure.
yeah, he. But I can't tell you who suggested who.
But
Like
wait a minute,
Heather
that's
could have.
but Judge Gwynn, that's not the okay. So, but my understanding of the story is okay. That would kind of make sense for her to move there if she had to physically learn how to do all of this stuff because it's
Yeah.
all there. But if I'm not mistaken, she herself only said like, "I only actually saw him a couple of times in person." Kind of weird.
Well, no, so that's why I wonder who suggested who to move out, because Heather could have easily taken over with just a $1,000 worth of laptop and
Yeah,
streaming equipment. A good
yeah.
microphone and a good and an okay laptop would have actually gotten her everything that she.
Uh oh.
Nope.
Shaking my fucking head. Are you on crack? Hey, my Padawans. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Oh, God. Listen, I had to react to this video. Well, the live that Richard had. And Gwen was up there. Um, I, I, I don't even know what to say. Something is going on with Gwen. I don't know what it is, but let me explain something really quick. If you guys don't know who Gwen is, she was a friend of mine for a long time, and we met because of Art Bell, and we stayed friends for a long time, 9 years, 10 years, and we like to talk about Heatherweight. The Heatherweight took over Art Bell. Anyway, so I'm reacting to what she's saying. She's still talking about me and Heatherweight and Art Bell, and she's still hating on Heather. She actually sounds very jealous of Heather. I don't know why. Um, I don't know whatever Heather did to Gwen, but she seems hurt, and I don't think Heather did anything to her. But anyway, look, this is my reaction to this clip that I just played. Let's go with what Richard said, that it was strange for her to move in. Okay, let's think about it. Why is this strange? By the way, I'm having a Sonic chocolate fudge ice cream shake. It's really good. A lot of sugar, but it's good. So why would it be strange for Heatherweight to move in to an empty house, okay, that Art Bell wasn't using anymore? It was his old studio. He had retired, and the house was empty. Yes, it was a house. It was not a trailer. I know Gwen says it's a trailer. It's not. I've been there. I've been to Pahrump. I've seen the home. It's a beautiful home. It has a large backyard. It has a nice porch. It has, I think, 3 bedrooms, huge kitchen and living room, and space for the studio that Art built on his own. Well, I think he had a couple of guys help him out. So no, it's not strange. Art Bell had an empty home. Heatherweight offered to pay for it. She got it really cheap. I think I heard that she paid like $25,000 for it. That's a steal. She paid for the whole thing, for the studio and the house, like $20,000, $25,000. That's a heck of a deal, bro. You know, she got a really good deal. So why would Art Bell keep an empty house? I think the home. Well, if you guys haven't been there, you know you have the compound, Art Bell's compound right there to the left, and then about 100, maybe 80 yards away across, then you have the studio where Heather Wade lives now. It's like I said, it's a nice home. But for Richard to say that, oh, why is it weird? Why is it strange that Art Bell helped Heather Wade? She needed somewhere to live. She got ahead of a deal on the sale. She got the house with the studio. I would have done it too. Art Bell didn't want that place to be empty. So why not invite somebody over to live there? I mean, so he made a sale. Okay, he made a sale. Why would he move her in? Well, if she was going to take over the radio show, it was the best decision to have her move in there and broadcast from that studio. It just makes total sense. Why would you build another studio in LA and pay ridiculous prices for new equipment? You have to pay rent. And that will in California is going to cost you $3,000 a month to rent a place to have a studio. Okay, so don't be stupid. Okay, so it was the best plan. It was the best decision that Art Bell made. Get her out of California, move her in here. I'll train her myself. He even said it on the radio many times that he liked hands-on training. He wanted to meet her in person, get to know her, you know, give her some tips on the phone and in person, and that's how you train your Padawan. You're the master. I'm the master. You're my Padawan. I'm not going to be doing it over the phone. It's just. I just can't listen to Gwen anymore. And then she's always talking shit about Heather and me. Like, what did we do to her? Nothing. All right. What else did they say? That Richard said that, you know, why would he only saw her 2 times? That why would she move there if he only seen her a couple of times? That's not true. But Richard, don't be a fucking idiot. He died. That's why he only saw her a couple of times. But it was more than 2 times. Okay, I remember her saying on air that he used to come around and maybe 4 or 5 or 6 times. The problem was, if you paid attention, if you're not an idiot like you are, Richard, Karen Jackson and Aaron didn't want Art Bell to go there. They were jealous of Heather Wade. They didn't like Heather Wade. So whenever Art Bell tried to go over there and trained Heather, these women will give him shit, and that was made public. I'm not lying about that. Karen has said it on interviews that she hated Heather Wade's. She told me on messages. She told me on the phone that she didn't like Heather Wade, and she didn't want Art Bell to talk to Heather Wade. And the same thing with Aaron. So why did he go over there? Oh, a couple of times, like you say? Well, you don't want your wife getting mad at you or your best friend, right? So yeah, I'm going to assume that Art Bell sneaked out in the middle of the night to go train Heather. Yeah, it's just common sense, bro. That's what happened. You really think that he only saw her a couple of times, living next door? Shaking my fucking head. Let me have another sip of my ice cream. All right. So we know that the best way to train someone for radio is to do it in person. Okay, any job, hands-on. Okay, when you get hired to do a job, you have to train in person. You don't train over the phone. There was no COVID. There was no Zoom. All right. Now let's talk about what Gwen was talking about. Oh, are you on crack? Listen, I have a laptop that cost me like $500, an HP. It's a piece of shit. I think it only had like 4 gigabytes or something like that. I don't even know. It has no memory for anything. I try to broadcast on StreamYard with it, like a share screen on StreamYard, and it wouldn't work. I can't even get Windows 10 or Windows 11 on it because it has no memory. The computer is a piece of shit. All right. For Gwen to say that Heather could do the show, or a professional radio show, following the steps of Art Bell in her apartment in LA somewhere. I don't even know if she was in LA. I think she was over in Monterey, California. I'm not sure. But let's see what you really need for a studio. All right. Now Gwen says that with $1,000 you can do a radio show. Nope. Idiotic, stupid. Wake the fuck up. Look it up on Google. Look up how much is it gonna cost me to start a radio station or to do I'm not talking about doing a podcast on Patreon or what I'm doing right now, recording on my phone. Okay. I'm talking about doing a real professional radio show that she did. Let's see, George Norrie. He's over there in LA, Hollywood, Sirius XM. They set him up over there, coast to coast. And the studio, I've seen the studio. I have video, I've had pictures. UFO Phil went over there. It's an incredible studio. He has like 6 monitors, soundproof. It's just it's a professional studio. So in order to Heather to do her radio show from LA, she would need a lot of equipment, and it would not cost $1,000. Gwen, she's not doing stupid ass Instagram videos or what you did. She's not sitting in bed looking all cute and naked. All right, that's not what she was doing. She was doing a real radio show. It's not. I don't even know what you were doing. You were doing camera on something, and your equipment sucks, Gwen. You're always breaking down. When you were on camera, it was slow. You would freeze. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. $1,000. I think Art Bell had Dell computers, or Alienware. I don't think he had Apple. But let's think about it. You're gonna need 4 monitors, okay? At least 4 or 5. You're gonna need 2 or 3 computers. I would go with Dell, or I guess you can get HP. I would never get Apple. Okay, you're gonna need headphones, good headphones. How many computers? I would say 4 computers. So that's already right there. Right there, you're paying already $2,000, $3,000. Okay. You're gonna need some software for to run the computers and the radio show. You're gonna need a lot of software, automation software. Okay. Stuff that does broadcasting software, stuff like that. You're gonna need a CD player, Blu-ray player, 4K. Okay, you're gonna need phone lines, fiber optics. Now we're talking $10,000 right there. Okay, you're gonna need microphones, of course. A lot of microphone stands. You're gonna need a transmitter. Okay, and you're gonna need an antenna. And who has the best antenna? Art Bell. Okay, he has that huge satellite broadcasting antenna out there. It's beautiful. I don't know if Aaron is using it. Okay, you're gonna need a broadcasting antenna. You're gonna need transmitters, AM and FM. Okay, you're gonna need a lot of software, telephones. You're gonna need a lot of telephones, at least 4 or 5. Now we're up to 20,000, 25,000. Okay, you're gonna need a mixer. You're gonna need speakers. A boom microphone. Chairs, a desk, and you forgot to talk about the dogs, because over there in the city, out here in the city, if you live in an apartment, okay, and I think that's what Heather Wade was at. If you're living in an apartment, like in a complex, you're gonna have dogs barking, like kids making noise, like people knocking on your door. Like, you can't do a radio show from a house or an apartment. Okay, that's why over there in Pahrump, in the middle of nowhere, where Heather was, you had a soundproof room, a studio there, that all she had to do was close the door, and you wouldn't hear any background noise. So I don't know what the hell you're smoking, right? But for you to say that she could have done her show with $1,000, it's just ridiculous. It's nonsense. It's unrealistic. It's really stupid. Now I think you're just trashing Heather because you want to piss me off. We're not talking about like what I do, like I do. I don't even know what to call this. This is just a YouTube podcast or a YouTube recording. This is not a radio show, but Art Bell wanted her to do a professional show. That's why she moved her in to a real studio that he used for many years. So don't say stupid shit. Look at all the equipment you need for the radio station. And it is a radio station. It's not a podcast. It's not an internet radio. Okay? It's not an app. With $1,000, you couldn't even do shit. Okay? If you want a good computer to run StreamYard or run even YouTube to make videos, you would need a $5,000 computer with enough memory, RAM, ROM. It's trillions of space, right? A lot of keyboards, you need a lot of things. Think about it. That's why last year, a couple of years ago, I started a GoFundMe. I didn't get nothing. I know. I want to thank Derry. Derry gave me $25, but I had to pay her back. This Mo shake is good, bro. So no, Gwen. Heather wasn't doing I don't even remember what app you were on. You were in some app, Discord or something. You were like broadcasting from your bed in your pajamas, trying to catfish all these guys. And I heard you got a new catfish, Mr. L or something. You know that Mr. L? That guy sounds like your ex boyfriend. You're not fooling me, Gwen. That sounds like your ex boyfriend who tried to frame me. Said that I asked for nudes. What a lie. So this is my response to and I miss Heather. She should. I listened to George Norrie on the weekend. I listened to Richard Hoagland, but I think it was a repeat. And George Norrie is doing amazing. Other than his voice is over. His voice, he doesn't have a voice anymore. He has like an old guy's voice. It's not as powerful. But Heather Wade, she was a real pro. She had all the equipment. Art Bell trained her, but she needed more training. You could tell after he died. And I understand why Heather felt that way, because he was trained in the middle of. I mean, he was just starting to train her, and he died, and she was left trying to learn all this shit by herself. Remember how she was always trying to, connect those fiber audio cables under her desk and behind the door and behind the wall, and there were like thousands of cables there. You got to be a technician. You got to know about equipment, electrical equipment. The Geek Squad. You got to know about computers. It's not that hard. If I had 20,000, 30,000, I could build my own studio, easy. But for $1,000, $2,000, that might as well just use your phone and do a silly Patreon show that nobody listens to, or do YouTube. I mean, a lot of people gave Heather good advice. Why don't you just do a YouTube show like David Scott, Spaced Out Radio? She could have just done her radio, well, not really a radio, but like a video channel on YouTube and do her shows on YouTube. And that would cost not much. All you need is a microphone and like a camera, like a webcam. You could probably get one for like a good one for like $50. So all she really needed. Because after Art Bell died, you didn't have a radio show anymore. Okay, so she could have transferred her. The problem with Heather was she was still trying to do it. She was still trying to, and she was the legacy. All right, she was the legacy, and she is the legacy. I don't care what anybody says, but she was trying to keep the form, the freestyle of radio alive. She was trying to do it like Art Bell, because that's what he wanted. He wanted a continuation of his style. He probably told her, do what I, kind of like do what I do, and that's why she did like an Art Bell voice sometimes. We don't know how he trained Heather. We don't know that. We don't know what he told her. But I know that Karen and Aaron interfered, and they got in between them, and they were always fighting and jealous and having their little drama, bunch of drama over there. This is good. I got it at Sonic. So no, it's not strange for Art Bell to move in Heather Wade and train her in person. That's not strange. It's not a trailer. All right. He didn't train her a couple of times. It was more than a couple of times. Probably nobody didn't want to tell Karen or anybody else that they were meeting in secret. They probably had a lot of secret meetings at night, overnight, maybe like until 3 or 4 in the morning. And then probably Art Bell sneak back into the house at 5 in the morning, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying I'm assuming that would have been the best way to do it, when nobody was around, when everybody was sleeping. Because Art Bell was like a night owl, and the same with Heather Wade. She was staying up all night. We're like night people, cat people. So I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Gwen is a real disappointment, and this is not too much about Gwen. This is more about the ridiculousness of Richard trashing Heather and saying, "Oh, he only met her 2 times. What are you gonna do?" No, none of you are good people. None of you wanted Heather Wade to succeed, ever. All you did was put her down, call her with stupid ass phone calls, all right? Troll her all day and night, send her emails, hack her, take out her phone lines, right? That's all you did. You guys are useless, worthless. So I dare you, Gwen, and I'm not talking about you sitting in your bed trying to look pretty, okay, and going on camera and being all like cute. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, I dare you to have a real radio station for $1,000. Okay, when I say a real radio station, I'm talking about you need an antenna, a broadcasting antenna. You need a FM radio, AM radio. You need processing signals. You need microphones, right? Telephone lines, fiber optics, internet. Forget about the internet. You need a lot of very good, fast internet. I dare you, Gwen. Do it. Heather Wade is 1,000,000 times better than you. Have a good night, and may the force be with you. Bye.